Welcome back, our beautiful listeners, to another episode of Unlocking Success with myself, Rich Homie Vang, and my co-host, Eric Eclipse. What's up, man?
Ceiling, how about you?
Yeah.
No, just kidding, dude.
The sky.
What's good, man? Sky, that's what we're talking about today. What is the moon? Are there aliens?
What is space? What is there? Is there stuff out there? Is there not stuff out there? We're going to be discussing that today. So to start off, Eric, have you heard about the Fermi Paradox?
Heard the name, but do I know what it is? I don't know. But I mean, bro, you know me. Anyone that really knows me, as of late, I don't believe shit, no matter what I hear from people. So I'm curious to hear what this is, but there's a good chance I'll think it's full of shit. But we'll see.
Yeah. So back in college, I took astronomy class, and I actually wrote. I think it was for my final project. Wrote a paper about the Fermi Paradox. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to gain access to that paper. I don't know where that is. I could probably find it if I search really hard enough, but it wasn't easily accessible. So I'm on this website, scienceterms.net. We can link it in the description for you guys. It goes, what is the Fermi Paradox? The Fermi Paradox relates to the presence of other intelligent life in the universe. Put simply, if there are billions upon billions of stars in the universe, and if a certain percentage of these stars should have planets that are sustainable for developing intelligent life, then where is everybody? The paradox is the difference between the overwhelming probabilistic evidence in favor of intelligent life developing and the complete absence of evidence that this is the case. There's going to be two videos we're going to be watching and discussing by Kurzgesagt. Pretty sure we've looked at some videos by them, but they, talk about the Fermi Paradox and also some potential solutions to it. But from this website, I'm just going to give you a slight overview that the video will probably cover again. So we have propositions of the Fermi Paradox. Number one, like we said, there are billions of stars, or sun-like stars, in the Milky Way galaxy. Many of these are billions of years older than our own star. 2. There is a high likelihood that many of these stars are orbited by Earth-like planets. Thus, it stands to reason that at least some of these planets have developed intelligent life. 3. Since the life of our planet is seeking to develop interstellar travel, it's likely that some of these other planets have developed civilizations capable of interstellar travel. 4. Even if interstellar travel is limited by the speed of light, then our galaxy could be traversed and colonized within a few millions of years. While some millions of years may seem like a huge amount of time, it's not all that long for a geological scale, or it's not that long on a geological scale, much less a cosmic scale. So with billions of years to develop and millions to travel the galaxy, we should be able to see some sign of other life in the galaxy. But we don't. I mean, other than we're talking about 2021 and they're releasing information about UFOs and such, yada, yada, yada. Some history of the Fermi Paradox, and then we'll just turn over to the video. The name of the Fermi Paradox is the result of a lunch conversation held at the Los Alamos National Laboratory in 1950. The members include Enrico Fermi, Herbert York, Edward Teller, and Emil Konopinski. All of them were astrophysicists at the laboratory, and the discussion was about the presence of extraterrestrial life in the universe. However, the discussion had ranged on to different topics until the point that Fermi suddenly asked, "Where is everybody?" Bringing the subject back to extraterrestrial life, he followed the question with some calculations like those described above. His conclusion was that given the probabilities, we should have seen extraterrestrial visitors often and long before then. This was back in 1950. So, yeah, I mean, the probability of, life being out there, I would say, is fairly high, just because, space is ever expanding.
For me, it depends on how real you want to get with this conversation, right? Because the question of is there extraterrestrial beings or not, the answer is yes. But explaining how it works to people that don't think about it the way I do, I don't know if it's really possible to explain it. And also, if we did see some terrestrials, no one fucking know about it. The hell you think they're just gonna tell people about that? No, people are too stupid to comprehend what seeing actual living extraterrestrial people standing in front of them, or even pictures of them. They're too fucking stupid. They'd freak out. So, and I mean, on top of that, the government fucking lies about everything whenever they can. I mean, yeah, like I said, it just depends on how real you want to make this conversation, because I can give the answer, that's no problem.
Yeah. We're going to just go through the videos, and then we'll see where it takes us, because there's a lot of stuff, the good stuff in here that they go over. So we have the Fermi Paradox, Where Are All the Aliens, Part 1, uploaded by Kurzgesagt in a nutshell. I think it's German.
In the entire universe.
Okay, what is
Are we the only living things in the entire universe? The observable universe is about 90 billion light years in diameter. There are at least 100 billion galaxies, each with 100 to 1,000 billion stars. Recently, we've learned that planets are very common too. And there are probably trillions and trillions of habitable planets in the universe, which means there should be lots of opportunity for life to develop and exist, right? But where is it? Shouldn't the universe be teeming with spaceships? Let's take a step back.
Alright, so they're just going to overview some stuff that we already discussed, but maybe to a greater extent.
In other galaxies, there's no way we'll ever know about them. Basically, everything outside of our direct galactic neighborhood, the so-called local group, is pretty much out of our reach forever because of the expansion of the universe. Even if we had really fast spaceships, it would literally take billions of years to reach these places, traveling through the emptiest areas in the universe. So let's focus on the Milky Way. The Milky Way is our home galaxy. It consists of up to 400 billion stars. That's a lot of stars. Counting one per second, it would take you 100 lifetimes to count them all. There are about 20 billion sun-like stars in the Milky Way, and estimates suggest that a fifth of them have an Earth-sized planet in its habitable zone, the area with conditions that enable life to exist. If only 0.1% of those planets harbored life, there would be 1 million planets with life in the Milky Way. But wait, there's more. The Milky Way is about 13 billion years old. In the beginning, it would not have been a good place for life because things exploded a lot. But after 1 to 2 billion years, the first habitable planets were born. Earth is only 4 billion years old, so there have probably been trillions of chances for life to develop on other planets in the past. If only a single one of them had developed into a space-traveling super-civilization, we would have noticed by now. What would such a civilization look like? There are 3 categories. A Type 1 civilization would be able to access the whole energy available on its planet. In case you're wondering, we're currently around 0.73 on the scale, and we should reach Type 1 sometime in the next couple of 100 years. Type 2 would be a civilization capable of harnessing all of the energy of its home star. This would require some serious science fiction, but it is doable in principle. Concepts like the Dyson sphere, a giant complex surrounding the sun, would be conceivable. Type 3 is a civilization that basically controls its whole galaxy and its energy. An alien race this advanced would probably be godlike to us. But why should we be able to see such an alien civilization in the first place? If we were to build generation spaceships that could sustain a population for around 1,000 years, we could colonize the whole galaxy in 2 million years. Sounds like a long time, but remember, the Milky Way is huge. So if it takes a couple of million years to colonize the entire galaxy, and there are possibly millions, if not billions of planets that sustain life in the Milky Way, and these other life forms have had considerably more time than we've had, then where are all the aliens? answer to it. But we do have some ideas. Let's talk about filters. A filter in this...
Alright, yeah, so that is basically the Fermi Paradox in a nutshell.
We're type 3. Third one, that's us. 100%. Why? Because we're controlled by fucking reptiles, man. I'm gonna do it. Alright, and it talks about we'd see them as gods because we fucking do, because they wrote the goddamn religion that everyone fucking preaches about. It's about them. It's crazy. They probably control everything. That's where fucking white people came from. Mars. Fun fact.
Elon. Go back.
Fuck that guy. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Trying to take us back to the home base.
Yeah, he's probably... That, yeah. Yeah, that's where it all happened. You know, it's super satanic. Mars is a figure of Satanism, and so was fucking... What's his face? Elon Musk. But yeah, to answer that, we're type 3, in my opinion. Based off the information I've read.
So now they're going to go into filters, not like the ones you see on Snapchat or Instagram. Fucking Zoomers.
Have fun in the Matrix, idiots.
Oh shit, I just accidentally rewind, but it's all good.
Paradox, and nobody has an answer to it. But we do have some ideas. Let's talk about filters. A filter in this context represents a barrier that is really hard for life to overcome. They come in various degrees of scary. 1. There are great filters, and we have passed them. Maybe it is way harder for complex life to develop than we think. The process allowing life to begin hasn't yet been completely figured out, and the conditions required may be really complicated. Maybe in the past, the universe was way more hostile, and only recently have things cooled down to make complex life possible. This would also mean that we may be unique, or at least one of the first, if not the first, civilization in the entire universe. 2. There are great filters, and they are ahead of us. This one would be really, really bad. Maybe life on our level exists everywhere in the universe, but it gets destroyed when it reaches a certain point, a point that lies ahead of us. For example, awesome future technology exists, but when activated, it destroys the planet. The last words of every advanced civilization would be, "This new device will solve all of our problems once I push this button." If this is true, then we are closer to the end than the beginning of human existence. Or maybe there is an ancient Type 3 civilization that monitors the universe, and once a civilization is advanced enough, it gets eliminated in an instant.
Little sus. Little sus.
It's the same thing they did on Mars, man. That's why everything's here now, because they fucking fled, and they just followed them. And it's the same thing. It doesn't mean physical destruction of a planet. It means that the species that they've controlled does them no more good, so they just leave them to be.
Yeah, and the part where they were saying here is like they're monitoring. It's just like, all right, when is? I know we've already talked about this. I don't know if on the episode or off the air, but it's like, all right, what happens usually when all of a sudden we get these alien encounters, stuff of war, like big events? Because they were talking about the Nazis, trying to contact. I don't know if they succeeded or not. I don't know if that information's out there, but them trying to contact the Greys. That's what they were put. Some aliens, back in World War II, and then what were some other ones?
Well, they succeeded. That's why they did Operation Paperclip, to get them out of there, because they knew they had information. Then they built NASA. Fun fact. NASA is originated from the Nazis.
So, definitely nuclear weapons is around there, like when they come around and such. And then, I mean, you could say with what happened in 2020, SARS-19.
Sickness.
And then all of a sudden, information about aliens and stuff starts getting declassified and released.
Jesus Christ. Like I said, man, that shit's probably so old. Or it's fake. I don't even know. I don't believe it. I don't need to believe that. Because I know at least a sliver of what's true about aliens. And I don't think that's it. I don't know.
Yeah. So, not a potential simulation, but
Maybe.
could be monitored.
This conversation is monitored. They can listen. People can listen in on this. Before we even publish this, they can listen to it. They probably already know.
Yeah.
Hello.
What's up? What's up, FBI agents?
Yeah. Fucking reptiles. But
we'll continue, because, it's,
yeah.
Or the one thing they were saying in there, it's like, we're trying to reach some technology to where, all right, if we accomplish this, then everything will be good.
Mm-hmm.
But then once that comes into play, it's never good.
No. They probably already have that technology too. Yeah.
They're not gonna tell nobody about it.
No.
But I digress. We'll continue.
Maybe there is something out there that it would be better not to discover. There is no way for us to know. One final thought, maybe we're alone. Right now, we have no evidence that there's any life besides us. Nothing. The universe appears to be empty and
maybe,
dead.
the person making this probably
Sending us
doesn't know.
messages, no one answering our calls. We may be completely alone, trapped on a tiny moist mud ball in an eternal universe. Does that thought scare you? If it does, you're having the correct emotional reaction. If we let life on this planet die, perhaps there will be no life left in the universe. Life will be gone, maybe forever. If this is the case, we just have to venture to the stars and become the first Type 3 civilization to keep the delicate flame of life existing and to spread it until the universe breathes its final breath and vanishes into oblivion. The universe is too beautiful not to be experienced by someone. This video was made possible.
All right, that's the first one. That's the first episode, or the first part. What they were saying at the end there, I'm gonna say, both options are equally terrifying.
What?
Regardless of what you believe.
What, being alone?
It's either we're alone or we're not.
Yeah, I guess. It is what it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
I'm just here, man. That's it. Yeah. Depending on what we don't or do encounter, as far as like you or me, I have no idea. Right? Like we just stated, there's already extraterrestrials in our everyday lives, don't get me wrong. You just don't know it. But to see like some sort of extraterrestrial in the form of like, we'll say a brute from like Halo, fuck that. Alright, that's pretty terrifying. Fuck that shit. But there's nothing I can do about it.
Because it's just like, yeah, like you were saying in the beginning, if extraterrestrials, real or not, if they were to present themselves not looking as humans look, it'd be very obvious, you know?
And you listen to what the guy said at the very end, talking about, like, either of the answers. Your correct emotion should be you're terrified. Like, yeah, that's why they don't fucking tell people about shit.
Yes.
Because they'd be freaking out, because people are retarded. I mean, sure, it'd be maybe a little scary. I don't know. I mean, I'm not standing right next to the thing, I don't think. So if I saw a picture of some alien, I'd be like, damn, alright.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, if we saw some Covenant motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Terrifying. Boom,
Yeah.
that'd be terrifying.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be terrified. We'd all be terrified.
Alright, in here, right? You want to debate something like this? There are aliens or extraterrestrial life. Then if there weren't, then where did they get all these movies from that talk about aliens? Where would they get all that from? They pull it out of their ass? No, it's because it's based off something that's true. Whatever movie maybe you want to take. Like the one that I've referenced off feed recently is Oblivion. Right? the tet up in the sky. Spoiler alert, by the way. The tet in the sky, they think it's just some spaceship where all the other humans are and stuff like that. And they all migrate to Titan. Well, in reality, what the tet is, it's some sort of alien life that controls the population. And they fucking killed everyone. But let everyone to believe that that's where all the humans are. There's an example. Where do you think they got from? Basically what we were just talking about. Type 3. That's exactly what that is. That's not something that you just thought of while you're taking a shit. I mean, sure, maybe you thought of the idea, but you just didn't, like, dude, what if there was this idea, man, about this random race and shit like that? It's based off true events.
Yeah. Like, they take it and they're like, all right, then we have this, then we go.
Mm-hmm.
Or then we have nothing, and then, found some random thought.
Mm-hmm.
And then we build upon that.
Mm-hmm.
Usually doesn't happen anymore as well.
Yeah, it's the same thing with, like, any sci-fi thing. It's just a reflection of the current state of civilization. Yeah. Weird shit.
So here we got Fermi Paradox 2, Solutions and Ideas. Uploaded by the same people. Oh man, this fucking ad.
Man, YouTube. Ever since they started up,
ever since that change, I remember getting that email from YouTube.
Ads?
Yeah, talking about ads and such. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's just a joke. It's just propaganda.
And after that, it happened, and now it's just new normal, quote unquote.
Yeah,
sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah, some nice fucking propaganda for you.
There are probably 10,000 stars for every great.
All right, another recap. Come on.
Observable universe. We know that there might be trillions of planets. So where are all the aliens? This is the Fermi Paradox. If you want to know more about it, watch part 1. Here we look at possible solutions to the Fermi Paradox. So, will we be destroyed, or does a glorious future await us?
Jesus Christ.
Space travel is hard. Although possible, it's an enormous challenge to travel to other stars. Massive amounts of material have to be put into orbit and assembled. A journey of maybe thousands of years needs to be survived by a population.
All right, yeah. So some of them talking about like these big spaceships and such.
Mm-hmm.
I got me thinking about say like Halo, or like Star Wars and such. Like, how long does it fucking take to build that shit?
Years. Thousands or decades, maybe? I don't know.
We'll say, like, Death Star V1 blowing up, and all of a sudden they have Death Star V2 they're building.
Yeah.
How long did that take?
It's a good question. I don't know. They're dealing with some crazy technology.
Yeah, and unless technology is just super advanced by then, it didn't fucking matter.
Yeah. Even though it's like a different developer, like I think like the Infinity from Halo 4, I think that took a few years to build. I don't know exactly, but yeah. It takes a lot of time to build those things.
And then they'd be like sustainable for life and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Must be a lot of fucking planning to go in that.
Mm-hmm.
And they build it so fast.
Mm-hmm. Thousands of them. I mean, yeah. Interesting thought.
Yeah, Death Star V1, Death Star V2.
I mean, think about how long it takes.
Star Killer Base.
Think about how long it takes to build like battleships and stuff like that. A long time. Like aircraft carriers or even destroyers, submarines. It takes a long time. So put that on like an even grander scale. Something that has to go into fucking space. Or whatever up there is, I don't know. But 2 to 3 times longer, probably.
Those materials. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Scratch, and the planet might not be as hospitable as it seemed from afar. It was already extremely hard to set up a spaceship that could survive the trip. An interstellar invasion might be impossible to pull off. Also, consider time. The universe is very old. On Earth, there's been life for at least 3.6 billion years. Intelligent human life for about 250,000 years, but only for about a century have we had the technology to communicate over great distances. There might
It's
have
fucking
been
sliver,
grand
dude.
alien empires that
It's true.
stretched across
I
thousands of
don't know.
systems and existed
But
for
yes, it
millions
is
of years, and we might
a
just
fraction.
have missed them. There might be grandiose ruins rotting away on distant worlds. 99% of all species on Earth have died out. It's easy to argue that this will be our fate sooner or later. Intelligent life may develop, spread over a few systems, and die off, over and over again. But galactic civilizations might never meet, so maybe it's a unifying experience for life in the universe to look at the stars and wonder, where is everyone? But there is no reason to assume aliens are like us, or that our logic applies to them. It might just be that our means of communication are extremely primitive and outdated. Imagine sitting in a house with a Morse code transmitter. You'd keep sending messages, but nobody would answer, and you'd feel pretty lonely. Maybe we're still undetectable for intelligent species, and will remain so until we learn to communicate properly. And even if we met aliens, we might be too different to be able to communicate with them in a meaningful way. Imagine the smartest squirrel you can. No matter how hard you try, you won't be able to explain our society to it. After all, from the squirrel's perspective, a tree is all that a sophisticated intelligence like itself needs to survive. So, humans cutting down whole forests is madness. But we don't destroy forests because we hate squirrels. We just want the resources. The squirrel's wishes and the squirrel's survival are of no concern to us. A Type 3 civilization in need of resources may treat us in a similar way. They might just evaporate our oceans to make
It's Oblivion. That's what they do in Oblivion. They're taking all the water. There's another movie I'm thinking of. Another, like, sci-fi movie. They're taking all the water. I don't know, but... yeah. Just exhaust all the resources and then they piece the fuck out. Maybe. Makes sense to me.
Trying to go to Mars. I'm trying to go back to Mars.
Why?
Resources.
tiny little apes. They build really cute concrete structures. Oh well, now they're dead before activating warp speed. But if there is a civilization out there that wants to
It's the
eliminate other
Reapers.
species,
Mass
it's
Effect.
far more likely that it will be motivated by culture rather than by economics. And anyway, it will be more effective to automate the process by constructing the perfect weapon. A self-replicating space probe made from nanomachines. They operate on a molecular level incredibly fast and deadly, with the power to attack and dismantle anything in an instant. You only need to give them 4 instructions. 1. Find a planet with life. 2. Disassemble.
Isn't that what happened at Mass Effect 3? Or am I thinking that? I'm not thinking right.
Space probes.
What are you talking about?
4. Repeat. A doomsday machine like this could render a galaxy sterile in a few
They
million
came to the
years.
planet
But why would you fly light years to gather resources
for all the resources.
The speed of
No.
light is actually not very
Something.
fast. If someone could travel at the speed of
Mass
light,
Effect 3,
it would
that
still take 100,000
the Reapers
years
are just
to
a far sophisticated alien race that just kill the fuck out of whoever they want, basically. Then there's the Collectors. Maybe you think of the Collectors. They're another alien race that feed off like humans and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's probably it.
way once, and you'll probably travel way slower. There might be way more enjoyable things than destroying civilizations and building empires. An interesting concept is the matryoshka brain, a megastructure surrounding
Pay attention to
a
this.
star. A computer of such computing power that an entire species could upload their consciousness and exist in a simulated universe. Potentially, one could experience an eternity of pure ecstasies without ever being bored or sad. A perfect life. If built around a red dwarf, this computer could be powered for up to 10 trillion years. Who would want to conquer the galaxy or make contact with other life forms if this were an option? All these solutions to the Fermi Paradox have...
Yeah, that's an interesting part right there. So, well, kind of what they were talking about, I think of Type 2 is when you harness the energy of the nearest star for all your resources, your power. Here they were saying about harnessing power from a red dwarf. I think, if I remember correctly, red dwarfs So actually, it's opposite of what you think hot and cold is. So you would think red is hot and blue is cold, but I guess with the colors in space or something with the fusion that happens within stars and stuff, blue actually means really hot and red means cool. So red dwarfs are actually really small and they're red, so they're only giving off a little bit, they're burning a little bit of energy, so they're able to live for a really long time. So what we're saying here is build some technology to harness that energy that lasts a long time, and also with the technology that either is developed or is developing, upload our consciousness to said computer that will run forever and you'll basically live forever consciously.
One problem, we don't know where the borders of technology are. We could be close to the limit or nowhere near it, and super technology awaits us, granting us immortality, transporting us to other galaxies, elevating us to the level of gods. One thing we do have to acknowledge is that we really don't know anything. Humans have spent more than 90% of their existence as hunter-gatherers. 500 years ago, we thought we were the center of the universe. 200 years ago, we stopped using human labor as the main source of energy. 30 years ago, we had apocalyptic weapons pointed at each other because of political disagreements. In the galactic timescale, we are embryos. We've come far, but still have a long way to go. The mindset that we really are the center of the universe is still strong in humans, so it's easy to make arrogant assumptions about life in the universe. But in the end, there's only one way to find out, right? Hey,
Yeah.
everybody.
Like a feminist, they're the center of the universe. Dumb bitch.
So I mean, that's kind of it. If we want to go, I just have a couple more things if we want to go a little more into it. So we're talking about the Great Filter, and that was the question you asked, I think, before we started the videos, was like, how would people react if, we did indeed have concrete evidence about life outside of our planet? They'd probably freak the fuck out.
Yeah, like if
they
the
would
government,
freak the fuck out.
If the world government was transparent with what they have, either people would think they're full of shit, probably not, or they'd freak out, which that ain't gonna happen. They don't want that. I mean, I think right now what the Globtards want and what they're doing is just population control. That's what they've been doing for the past however long. What the end result of that is, I don't know. Shit, maybe it's fucking taken that group of individuals who got through survival of the fittest, Darwinism, and they just go to a different planet and start over. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, population control, that's what this is all about.
Yeah. Like, for a species to survive, they must colonize and spread out. With humans, where they go to other planets and then other solar systems and then conquer galaxies. It'd be the same for any other species. And then they were talking about technology. If you basically think about it, technology is the recipe for the end of mankind. Some examples they were saying with technology, obvious enough for everyone to discover it, and so dangerous that its discovery leads to the end. And they were saying examples like large-scale nuclear war, as what we saw with the Cold War. I guess you can't say it is still right now.
I think it always is.
Fuck, I know we said in that one episode. How many seconds to midnight, or minutes? I think it's 2 minutes to midnight. Something like that. Another example is they were talking about nanotechnology that gets out of control, genetic engineering of a perfect superbug. Pause.
Oh,
Pause.
No, you know what the pause is for? Is what do all these things stem from? Human ignorance. Everything. It all stems from human ignorance. So it's not something like a physical warhead that's the end of our existence. It's ourselves.
Yeah.
It's once again that philosophy that we are the most important fucking thing in the world, in the universe. Which sure, maybe we are, but people would just put themselves on their own fucking pedestal, think they're the shit, when in reality they don't actually believe in anything. So there's no one to ever put them in check, and what does that lead to? Ignorance. And usually ignorance leads to destruction. Yeah.
Genetic engineering of the perfect superbug, AI that turns on humans, accidentally or purposely, possibilities ever growing, and then it says, or even simpler, we all compete for resources in order to take over the planet, and doing so, destroy it. Like you said, ignorance.
It's human ignorance every time.
Ignorance, greed. It's like, we are the top of the food chain. Who can stop us? Ourselves. But we only know we're at the top of the food chain because we don't know if there is anything above us. Ignorance.
It's always ignorance. People can't tell. They think, like, oh my god, I'm a human fucking being. I'm a feminist woman, right? I always like to use this example because they're some of the most retarded people on the planet. I'm a feminist woman, right? Look at me. Congratulations, bitch. You're no better than a fucking cow. Because you don't understand your own goddamn existence. That's it. People don't understand what it means to actually be human. I don't even fucking know yet. But if you don't believe in something, if you don't think there's anything higher than yourself, then you're no better than a fucking cow. That's what a cow is. It is an animal that has no conscious understanding of what it is or where it's at. It just sees things and feels things. It sees that patch of grass over there that's familiar with it. It sees this person that speaks in a certain tone that makes them feel a certain way. They don't understand that that's a human. They don't understand that that's grass. They don't understand that what they're eating is fucking hay. They're an animal. And once again, that's what people nowadays are no better than. Once again, I'm just going to say the word, but remember I told you this the other day. Vaca, vaccine, is the Latin word for cow. Put the two together. People taking the prick, the little shot. They're just animals. But they think there's something way better. They think they're doing this for some big, great cause. No, you're just subjecting yourself to nothing better than an animal.
Yeah.
That's it. I was going to say something else, but you go ahead. I can't think of it. Oh, yeah, real quick. That's what Dune's all about. Like the Gamja bar, that's what it's for. Are you an animal or are you a human? Do you let your instincts decide for you? Or do you let your awareness decide for you? That's it. If it goes off instincts, then you're an animal. You're going to pull your hand out of that box. You're going to chop off your own leg. You're going to die. If you're human, you'll figure out how to get out of it. You won't just accept it.
That was like a fucking mic drop.
It's called the truth. It's called the truth. You're welcome. You can tip me. Pay me. I spread the truth. If you want to hate on me, go for it. I don't care. Because you know what? At the end of the day, if anyone hates on me, they're probably just an animal. And they don't like that I'm telling them the truth. So, suck my dick. If you actually want to listen to me, feel free to reach out. I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you about yourself. Right? I'll tell you exactly what you need to know in order to better yourself. You want to unlock success? You talk to me. Right? You talk to me, I'll tell you what the fuck is up. Because that's how I see it now. I only spit the truth. And what I just said on that mic drop, little spurt of information, that's the fucking truth. I say it every time, I feel like. I think I repeat that stuff too much. But you can't hammer it home enough because when you live in a life of deception, basically what this whole episode is about there's all these things that we're talking about, but in reality, there's no reason to question what we're talking about because it's all true. Are we alone? No. Are we being controlled by someone? Yes. Is it going to lead to destruction? Yes, by our own doing. Why? Because we think we're better than we are, but we're really just animals being subdued by something else.
That's correct.
Population control. Hit me up, Globtards. I can help you out. I'll work for you guys. Just kidding. Fuck
In
that.
the meantime, a little transition. We're talking about, us basically destroying the Earth or the planet. Just because you didn't know, humans are destroying the planet. And I want to talk about plastic. So I guess, we've produced a shit ton of plastic, right? Since its introduction, production has skyrocketed 380 million tons in 2015. As of September 2020, half of all plastics ever made have been produced since 2005.
Damn.
And even though, we've heard the big spiel, reduce, reuse, recycle. I get it, 3 R's. But most plastics, they can't even be recycled. What we're saying, like clear plastics are okay, but then any tinted is like, nah. All right. It's stated that less than 9% of plastic produced in the U.S. is recycled. The vast majority ending up in landfills, burnt, or the environment. 2015 studies show the world dumps 8.8 million tons of plastic into the oceans. Once in the oceans, it will break down into microplastics, which may get eaten by fish, which then may get ingested by us. 2019 study estimated that an average person globally could be ingesting about a credit card's worth of microplastics credit cards worth of microplastics into their system every week. And it's reported that by 2015, the ocean is expected to contain more plastic than fish. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Ocean's fucking huge.
That is huge.
Like, that's another thing. We can talk about space. And, what is out there, but what's in the fucking oceans, man?
You'll never know. I don't know if I'll ever know. And it's a problem. The plastic thing, it's a problem. I don't know how to fix it.
I'm just here to state a problem, not a solution for this, because
I ain't got that.
we don't know. We don't know what the solution is for plastic. I don't think there is one.
There isn't. It's like kicking the can down the road. That's it. Alright, like, how do we start to produce things on a grander scale? Ooh, plastic. But it's a big negative impact down the road. Alright, well, we need it now, so fuck it. Kick the can down the road, basically. I mean, don't get me wrong, plastic is a fantastic manufacturing tool. Like, the things you can do with it, it's off the charts. I mean, it's allowed the world to shape the way it's been, right, as far as a manufacturing perspective. But the problem with it is, once again, what do you do with it? You can't recycle it, really. You can't burn it, because the chemical and all that, like what it does to whatever the atmosphere is, right? And
Yeah,
just
so you burn
destroys
it, fuck up the atmosphere, and then we still fuck up the earth.
Yeah, people talk about preventing ruining the planet. It's not possible. You can't do anything that's not going to ruin the earth. You know how you do it, actually? You stop human evolution. You want to fix it? You stop human evolution. We go back to using rocks and sticks. There you go. That'll solve your problem. It seriously would, but who's going to do that? No one. No one. Everyone, including myself, you like your technology, you like your car, you like your electricity. Don't matter. People say, oh, get a Tesla. Man, how the fuck do you charge a Tesla battery?
Yeah.
Oil.
Or it's just like, where do those batteries come from?
The same shit.
The fucking earth.
It's fucking stupid. Like, goddamn. People say, Tesla's gonna change the world. Yeah, you're right. It's gonna change the world.
It still takes resources to make
build.
the damn thing.
I think it actually takes more to build those than a traditional combustion engine like that a car has or whatever they're called. But yeah, people forget that. Dude, you could charge it. It's electric, bro. Yeah, cool. How do you think they're able to charge it with the electricity? How do you think they're able to build the battery? It's the same thing. It doesn't matter. You know, and it's one of my favorite things to say. Same shit, different title. That's what it is. It's the same shit with a different title. It's now, electric cars. You still need oil and all that shit to make that. It doesn't matter. And how much you save from using an electric battery as opposed to pumping gas, it's probably nothing. I mean, I don't have a stat, so you could call me on bullshit there, but I don't think I'm wrong. It's probably not that much.
Yeah. I don't want to spin this part. So we'll say the people controlling the world, essentially, you know, same shit, different title. So we're going to talk about that along with, you know, environmentally sustainable products and some shit that they be talking about. You know, while you're really realizing it, companies are lying to their consumers about, you know, such what I put down here. What the fuck? Oh, about, like, you know, recycling initiatives and such and so forth. For example, there was this one ad for a company saying that, yeah, we use 100% recycled material. But then in reality, I think there was like that. And I think that, what was it, a study on it, or they looked into it. They only use 20%. It's all front.
Like, you go on Google, man. You can finish your point, though, sorry.
And then we're going to call them out. We got Coca-Cola. I guess they were labeled the number 1 top global polluter. So with that, you know, you have that company pushing, or like, with that label under them, it pushes the company to make, you know, a bunch of false promises that the world wants to hear. For example, you know, Coca-Cola was pledging to use at least 50% recycled material in their packaging by 2030, which sounds great, but it's like the same thing as, you know, what they've been saying for decades. Back in 2019, they said they plan on sourcing 25% of plastics they use in the materials from recycled materials by 2015. As of 2020, it's less than 10%. So basically, like Eric was saying, it's just the same shit, different title. Rather than recycling plastic, these companies are recycling the same bullshit claims and promises. And y'all eating it up.
Same date. Carbon free by 2030 for Google. Carbon neutral since 2007. What does that mean? I mean, especially in a day and age where everyone is such big SJWs about climate change. Like, don't get me wrong, right? Do I want to see this planet or whatever we're on burn in flames? No, but what can I do? It's just truth of reality. So you get these people that are such climate change activists, like Greta Thunberg, some dumbass 14-year-old or whatever. I feel bad for that girl because she's getting manipulated.
Let her live, man.
Dude, she's probably like controlled by some fourth dimensional reptile. But anyhow, people that like that shit, they don't care to look into it. If they see a company, we're carbon free, we're carbon neutral, we like to recycle our fucking condoms. Like, cool, yeah, nice,
good for them. We support them. You look into it, it's like just a little sliver.
Yeah, exactly.
Of them, you know, being legit about it.
Yeah, it says like here by Google, by 2030 we aim to be the first major company to operate carbon free. Didn't Coke say that too?
Yeah, Coke has been saying the same shit. Like, they're just like, what do you had here? Okay, so 2019, planning on sourcing 25% of plastic from recycled materials by 2015. Okay. 25%. And then we have just recently, or at some point, pledging to use at least 50% of recycled materials in their packaging by 2030. So we got 50% 2030, 25% 2015. It's 2020. It's less than 10%.
Yeah.
It sounds all good.
I got another
It's
one.
fucking bullshit.
And this is all these companies started to make these things around the same time. I got one from Volvo here. Maybe you've heard this one. Volvo Cars reveals ambitious new climate change plan. Carbon emissions will be radically reduced by 2025 as part of the company's aim to become climate neutral, just neutral, by 2040.
I do remember reading something about that.
See, that's another thing too. When you have your entire civilization dependent on one resource, in order to take it off that's so much money, time, and let alone cooperation. I can assure you that the money part, it's not physically possible with the current monetary system. It's not possible. You're going to blow up the world money supply. You're going to destroy it. It's not possible to print the amount of money you would need to just suddenly change everything to a climate-friendly society. It's not possible. And if it is, then go do it and prove me wrong, please. Cooperation. We're dealing with gigantic companies that make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what's the one thing in this world that people die over? Money. So to get them to cooperate with some of this stuff, if they lose money, why are they going to do it? Why are they going to do it? It's the same thing with the pharmaceutical company. Say what you want about what I'm about to say, but it's fucking true. The Rockefeller Foundation has knowingly been known to have the cure for cancer. Why did they not release it? Because you know how much money they make from that shit?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Come on, people, this is the problem. It's human ignorance. Are you kidding me to think that they don't have a cure for that shit? That they can't fix all these problems? It's about population control. If everything was squeaky clean, then first off, no one's gonna fucking die. You need people dying from these viruses and shit. You need people dying from car crashes and human stupidity. You can't just make it all squeaky clean perfect. And even then, if this reality becomes true with carbon neutral stuff, there's going to be something else to add to it.
Yeah, I can see it too.
Because
carbon neutral, I mean, I hate to interrupt and take you off your train, but the big oil dudes,
dude,
I don't think they're going away, man. And like we say the same thing for you were saying pharmaceuticals. It's like we have a bunch of holistic remedies and treatments that have been concluded and verified to be more effective than, say, the pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals, they got so much fucking money, they don't give a shit.
Look at insurance companies. Why is it that the best cures to fix people's problems are never covered by insurance? Stem cells. The big one that caught my attention was LASIK eye surgery. That's not covered by insurance. Why? Because it fixes your fucking eyes. Stem cells, because it actually fixes
your body, yeah.
In reality, insurance is just a thing for poor people. It's true. It's a way to make people think that they can't actually fix all their problems, that they need someone else to help them with it. And it's like, now they kind of think about it. You've seen Doctor Strange, you're familiar with it, and I believe solely, this is a weird transition, but I believe solely in the philosophy that the Ancient One talks about. And Daniel, my brother, gave me a perfect analogy with this. He's talking about belief in yourself, belief in something else. If there's a 15 out of 10 girl, right, this chick is gorgeous as fuck, but her whole life she was told she's ugly, you think she's going to believe she's beautiful? What do you think? No.
No.
If you break your foot, But you believe that you tell yourself every day, and you have people around you that hammer you with belief, and they tell you, dude, that thing's gonna fix itself. What do you think will happen? Find out. I think it will fix itself.
Connor? Anderson Silva? Chris Weidman?
Well, I mean, but that's with like medical procedure. I'm saying alone.
Oh.
I think that shit would fix itself. Your body is an organism that adapts to new things. Like, look at a cut. You cut yourself? Do you need a medical thing to come fix that? No, naturally it heals itself. And two, if you believe in, that shit's going to fix itself. Don't worry about it. And once again, it's all about driving people into that pharmaceuticals. To put them on these pills. I mean, America's just a drug.
Keep them hooked.
America's just a drug yard. It's disgusting. I mean, it was said to believe in this, you know what video I'm talking about too, I'm about to reference, that America was the information country, just as Japan was the manufacturing one. They wanted to just get information from this society. That's why America's a failed civilization, because it was never intended to succeed. They just wanted to get information about human nature, and they've won at that. That's why you got people all fucking perked up on drugs all the fucking time. Depression and all that shit's at an all-time high. Let alone a lot of it is self-diagnosis. You got ignorance and lack of belief in anything. All-time highs. It's because they've already got the job done with what they want from this place. Yeah. I don't know where that loop, everything I just said, ties back together, but yeah, there you go. There's some information, I guess.
No, man, that's right. It's like, because you were saying,
You can start with the carbon stuff. I don't know. Yeah, maybe you could tie back into what we talked about a lot is the smart cities and shit like that.
Come back together. Well, you were saying the thing about the pharmaceuticals and you know,
cure for cancer.
Cure for cancer. It's just like they're for sure withholding it, because why would they want to fix the problem when they can, you know, keep basically the civilization under like a subscription, basically.
You have to remember, the people who run the world, they need to make a living just as much as you do. They can't go fixing everything's problems, because then they're not on top of their pedestals anymore. They're not quote-unquote global elites anymore, even though they're not elites to begin with.
Yeah, because
they're just in that position.
They're in that position because to you view them as the solution.
Yeah, that too. Well, then, you know, they're just born into it, right? Like, hey, Jeff, you're now head of the Rothschilds Foundation. Okay, let's go. I mean, it's like they have to earn it. But then you were talking about like oil and stuff like that. Like, you know, the richest, Elon Musk is not the richest person in the world. There you go, just blew your mind. No, the richest people in the world are people you'll never know their name.
We don't know who they are.
The wealthiest family, to my understanding, is probably the Rothschilds. People argue it's like the Saudi monarchy. I think it's the right word for it. You know, the people who run all the oil shit.
Yeah.
It's probably the Rothschilds or some Middle Eastern royalty. I don't know. I can't remember their name. And that's just what we know. But there's people above them too. There's people.
Gotta be, yeah. Because like we know of, and we're able to put names on the people that we think are above.
Yep.
But there's people that are above that we can't put a fucking name on.
That you could walk past them in the street, you would never know. I doubt that would happen, that you just walk past someone like that in the street, but you get the idea. Yeah, so they tell you Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk are the richest people. No. Just to name someone else, or a couple other families and or people, like Vladimir Putin. He's a lot of people think he actually invented Bitcoin. Maybe. I have no idea. And then, like I said, the Rockefellers are a huge one. The royal family of England, they're another one. They're way richer than... I don't know what their numbers are, but really any royal family, they're the richest people. Known. It's not these other people. Like the Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos of the world, they're in that position because they're willing to work with these people who run the world. Like I said, Tesla is the technology like the physical technology that's going to run their smart cities and stuff like that. Jeff Bezos is, well, he's not the CEO anymore, but Jeff Bezos' Amazon is going to be the company, most likely, that's going to deal with ordnance, we'll say, right? Delivering things, being the logistics aspect of it. That's why they're in the light that they are. You have to suck a few dicks to get to the top that, like, where they're at. It's not as simple as just, hey, look at me, I'm Elon Musk and I got some good ideas and I'm going to be the richest man in the world. All right, cool, but you got to suck my dick and you got to do what I say. I don't want to do that. Dead.
Yeah, suck some dicks, kiss some ass.
Yep.
But let me think. All right. I've tied everything back in. So we were talking about these initiatives, about going green, and then we started talking about, the people running these companies, and then that's how we got into the pharmaceuticals and people running people fucking running the world. We wanted to make it they wanted to make things sound good, look good, just to keep you guys, or not you guys, I would say everyone hooked and on board. They're like, all right, well, they say they're doing something, so they're gonna fucking do it. Same thing for politicians. It sounds all good, so it's like, all right, we're on board. But then you really have to dive into it to figure out what they actually are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And from what we've seen, at least from the plastic standpoint, they ain't doing shit.
No. And you want, since we started this with space, I'm not going to be like Eddie Bravo, claim flat Earth, right? But this shit ain't spherical. It's no coincidence that topic, not even saying for sure it's a flat, but questioning the relativity of what we're on is a perfectly spherical object, is some of the most difficult information to find. People talking about it. Just asking the question. Why? Because that's a huge, 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 huge thing that if somehow we find out, oh shit, we actually don't live on a sphere. It's blank, right? Let alone, so I've been lied to my whole life about
this. What else? Gets you questioning.
Is the moon actually a moon? Or is it a space station? Or like what?
Or projection? Or, yeah, I mean...
So on and so forth. You get the idea.
And once that hamster wheel starts turning and we'll say the vast majority of citizens on this planet, anarchy.
Like I said, their whole goal is about population control. If the whole population starts to freak the fuck out about things, it's kind of hard to control them. Maybe getting the in your arm, the little pew pew, the shot. That's probably part of the resolution there. Being able to have some sort of tracking of everyone.
I guess to wrap that up, just like you were saying, any, whether it's credited or uncredited or thoughts about the shape of the Earth, I mean, it's all censored. But, we'll say, like, any conspiracy, that stuff is out there. So, like, they don't, like, sure, they can try to censor it, but you can still find something for at least conspiracy, both sides.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say, at least for the Earth, because that's what we're talking about. None.
No.
None. And it's not like, I don't care if it's right or wrong. Just let me make that assumption.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, luckily, that whole questioning of is the Earth round or not is something that they can never be killed because it's up to everyone's interpretation. Like us the other day. You just look out at just openness, right? And you see things in the distance and whatnot. You shouldn't be able to see some of those things the way you do if the Earth wasn't flat. Seriously, like look at the most concrete information is the Suez Canal. It's 100-some miles, and watch a time lapse. That bitch is flat as fuck. That bitch is flat as fuck. I don't care what you say. People will debate, the clouds are actually coming over the horizon. No, they're not. You pay attention, it's about freeing your mind. You've been told your whole life it's a sphere. Free your fucking mind and actually just open your eyes. Don't listen to your head, listen to your heart. This is a sphere. Holy shit. And it might only be there for a second where you actually see it. And then your mind tells you, no, it's a sphere. But you might see it for a second. And that's all you need to know.
Yeah, but also, really can't trust our senses too, to a certain extent. You know, we'll say like, you know, optical illusions and such and so forth. It's just, everything's playing with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've been getting played with since we were born. Since day one. They're just lies thrown at you. You don't even know it. You know, and there's people that live out their whole lives never actually knowing a glimpse of the truth. Which, that's their own fault because they didn't actually seek it. They just accepted it. They're just an animal, once again. Yeah. That's
kind of the topic for discussion for this episode. We'll turn to Eric for the recap.
Yeah. You know, so we start with the Fermi Paradox. Interesting. It's an interesting discussion to have. It's a good one to have too. Then you can take it to a whole nother level after that. And I kind of just started going on rants, so I actually didn't do a great job doing this recap, but I remember some things. First off, we talked about animals. Apologies. Animals. And sure, I mean physical animals that you see in the wild, but it's more than that. It's a conscious understanding of that. So go listen to that part, and you'll understand that more. Then we started talking about Globtards, aka global elites, globalists, whatever you call it. I think Globtards is a fitting name for them, because they're nothing fucking special. Next up, we started talking about some carbon neutral shit. One of the most debated topics in the past few years. Had some good points on that, if you want to go revisit that. Briefly talked about who runs the world and why all these great, glorious, on paper plans will never come to fruition because it doesn't work like that. And then lastly, flat Earth, question mark. I've never seen the Earth from space, so I have no reason to believe that it is a sphere, or B, a flat Earth, or something else. I have no idea. I've never seen it.
Yeah, all we've seen is what
we've seen.
What are available to us.
Yeah, all we've seen is what we're able to possibly determine that gives us a solution to our question. I could be wrong, and this could be a goddamn sphere, but I've never seen it. I don't know what it looks like. I won't believe a picture because it's just clearly a fisheye lens, and every single picture looks the same. Like, it's not like there's anyone who's ever stood up there, and what it looks like, just take like a panoramic shot. I don't know. But anyway, that's all I got.
Yeah, me too, man.
This is a great episode, man. Probably gonna get shadow banned, like all of our stuff. But
yeah, dude, we use a lot of trigger words up in there.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah, what's up? Shout out to you if you made it this far. Be sure to like, dislike, comment your thoughts, good or bad, share and subscribe. Also, ring the bell so whenever we upload a new episode, you'll get a notification to stay up to date with the info we put out. Follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Unlocking Success. Follow me everywhere at Rich Homie Vang. Follow Eric on Instagram at Eric_Eclipse and on Twitter at I am the Eclipse. That's the show. That's a wrap. Hopefully you enjoyed and are one step closer to unlocking your definition of success. We love you. Appreciate all the support. Take care. Keep striving. We'll see you Saturday for UFC Vegas. You see 37. Yeah. Anthony Smith versus Brian Spann. We had an off week last week. I'm just excited to be back. Love fights.
Yeah, man.
We're going to get those picks to you. But
yeah,
until then, peace out.
Love y'all. Psych. Fuck.